The 119th edition of Il Lombardia, 241 kilometres in northern Italy from the banks of Lake Como to a finish in Bergamo. Seldom has one rider been so much a favourite going into the race than Tadej Pogačar, looking to win a fifth successive Lombardia and make history. His teammate Rafa Majka would be racing for the last time in his long and prestigious career, and they rolled out of Como in warm sunshine with barely a breath of wind. Perfect conditions for the race. Before the flag dropped then, Quinn Simmons was at the front, and as soon as the race started in earnest, the American national champion attacked, bringing with him a group that after 20 minutes or so of racing had established a lead. 14 riders in total, including Filippo Ganna and two of his Ineos Grenadiers teammates, as well as Michael Matthews and Bart Lemon in the yellow of Visma Lease bike. Louis Vervaeke of Soudal Quickstep also in their numbers. Then Sepp Kuss, with a moment's inattention, hit the deck hard at an innocuous part of the race, and Tadej Pogačar moved up towards the front to keep himself in a safe position. Over the top of the first significant climb of the day, the famous Madonna del Ghisallo climb, and on the descent there was trouble for Tom Pidcock, who was unseated. His ratchet then working loose, and he needed to effect a mobile shoe change, which he did with efficiency and got back into the peloton, which on the banks of Lake Como briefly split, not for the first time, and then came back together again as they headed to the next climb of the day, the Roncola Alta. Over the top of that climb, the breakaway still had 2 minutes and 26, but no more than that, with 137 kilometres still to go. UAE Team Emirates, as well as Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe controlling the pace. Again, the peloton split. This time, Matthias Skjelmose, Tom Pidcock, Nielsen Paulus, Timon Arensman and Giulio Pellizzari were all caught out, but again, it came back together again. The next climb, the Berbeno climb, the breakaway had an advantage of only 1 minute and 43 seconds. And on the descent off that climb, Quinn Simmons, for the first time, opened up a little bit of an attack, but it was Filippo Ganna who closed the gap to the American and snuffed out that initial attack. On the approach to the next climb then, Jai Hindley hitting the deck very hard and having to battle all on his own, leading from the sides to get back into the peloton. And on the climb of the Crocetta, it was Quinn Simmons who attacked again, and this time went clear of the remains of the breakaway, leaving behind him a group containing Pello Bilbao, Filippo Ganna, Louis Vervaeke, and UAE Team Emirates at the back, controlling the pace with 70 kilometres to go. Quinn Simmons then over the top of the Zambla Alta climb, with just the Passo di Ganda remaining, still had an advantage of over 3 minutes to the peloton and had destroyed the rest of the breakaway. The American on a marauding ride, and within 1 hour of pulling off a stunning victory, making the rest of the riders work very hard indeed. Then Rafa Majka took things up on the Ganda climb, doing the last job for Tadej Pogačar in his long career, and when he signed off, he got a salute from Pogačar as Jay Vine took up the pace setting for UAE Team Emirates. Remco Evenepoel, one of the riders, going clear with Michael Storer and Paul Sexas, as well as Isaac Del Toro. Then with 36.6k to go, Tadej Pogačar launched the expected move, and nobody tried to go with him, least of all Remco Evenepoel, who found 3 riders on his wheel. At the front of the race then, Quinn Simmons probably knew that the inevitable was coming up towards him as Tadej Pogačar made his way to the front of the race. Further back, a group containing Richard Carapaz, Primož Roglič, Adam Yates and Oscar Onley laboured and lost contact with the front as Tadej Pogačar reached Quinn Simmons. Simmons able to hold his wheel briefly before he dropped away, and Tadej Pogačar had the road all to himself as he went over the top of the Passo di Ganda with a healthy lead over the opposition. Isaac Del Toro was then dropped by Michael Storer and Remco Evenepoel. And Evenepoel tried to get rid of Storer and Quinn Simmons, who'd been caught by Evenepoel and the Australian. Those 3 riders, though, going over the top of that climb together. Richard Carapaz on the descent, hitting the side wall of the descent hard. As the race then unwound, the riders in bits and pieces on the long descent, and Michael Storer battling hard just to remain in contention, following the wheel of Remco Evenepoel, who'd moved into second place on the road. Isaac Del Toro likewise was looking at Quinn Simmons to try and get across and battle out the minor placings. Then on the long, flat, straight approach to the final climb in Bergamo, Tadej Pogačar was assured of victory with an advantage over Remco Evenepoel of over 1 minute and 20 seconds, and Michael Storer had it all to do to stay on terms with Remco Evenepoel as he lost contact with the rider in second place. In the meantime though, with 5 kilometres to go, Tadej Pogačar had still 1 minute and 30 seconds in the bank, and Remco Evenepoel almost a minute over Michael Storer as the top 3 placings on the road solidified and they're headed towards the finish line. In the final kilometre then, Remco Evenepoel in second place, Tadej Pogačar once again beating him and celebrating another history-making and 20th seasonal win. A third monument, something only Eddie Merckx had done in one season, and a 5th consecutive Lombardia. Not even Fausto Coppi, who won this race 5 times, managed that feat. To win as the world champion again for the 2nd successive year, every time this man pins a number on, he makes history. Tadej Pogačar then once again the better of Remco Evenepoel. A brilliant ride from Storer in 3rd, Quinn Simmons finishing in a fantastic 4th place. No doubt about the winner though, once again it was the unstoppable force that is the double world champion, Tadej Pogačar.